Hello everyone, Andy Schwab here with your Northern Ag TV. The Office of the U.S. Trade Representative is gearing up for a major milestone in North American trade policy. This week, the USTR officials held hearings in the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement as they prepare for a full review of the pact next year. Now, a process is expected to shape the future of the agricultural trade across the continent. Ahead of the hearings, though, the U.S. Meat Export Federation held their planning conference in Indianapolis, where USMEF members heard directly from one of the original USMCA negotiators. Kenneth Smith Ramos, who represented Mexico during the talks for the agreement, told producers that while tensions have risen, particularly with the recent U.S. tariffs, he does not expect the trade pact to unravel.
We see turbulence in terms of the Mexico-U.S. trade relationship, of course, because of these tariffs that the U.S. has imposed. We see a complex USMCA review, but we do not see a scenario where there is an imminent collapse of the agreement. There will be turbulence, but we do not see the plane crashing. Okay, but we need to work together in cooperation between the agricultural sectors of Mexico and the U.S. and Canada as well. Preserving the agreement as trilateral is very important. We have a very vibrant relationship as well with Canada. So pushing our governments to maintain a trilateral nature of the agreement and coming to agreements on key issues on China, on eliminating trade barriers is essential.
Now, Smith Ramos also stressed that keeping China-related issues and non-tariff barriers on the negotiating table will be key. He said agricultural groups should push all three governments have the maintaining of the pact's trilateral structures, calling it essential to trade stability. From a Canadian perspective, the value of cross-border trade is also clear. John Maswell, that is, with the Canadian Cattle Association, reminded USMEF members just how important the Canadian consumer is to American agriculture.
If you take the agriculture trade, U.S. agriculture exports to Canada, divide them by our population, and do it the other way around. Every Canadian is consuming over $700 of U.S. agriculture goods, and every American is consuming just over $100 of Canadian agriculture goods. It tells me that the Canadian market is pretty open, and that Canadians like American agriculture products. You know, if you scratch into what is it we're buying a lot of high-value things. We're kind of the holy grail of the market, as opposed to selling, you know, the ingredients. We like to buy a lot of the finished products, and we also supply some of those ingredients that go into those finished products. So yes, there is some back and forth trade that's hidden in those numbers, but again, does it matter? Is it mutually beneficial?
Meanwhile, back on Capitol Hill this week, the U.S. Cattlemen's Association elevated another key issue tied to the future of the USMCA, that being country of origin labeling. U.S. Cattlemen's Association President Justin Tupper testified on behalf of the U.S. cattle producers with a clear message. Mandatory country of origin labeling for beef must be a part of the USMCA update. Tupper emphasized that only beef from animals that are born, raised, and harvested in the U.S. should carry the Product of the USA label. He said that changes is about transparency for consumers and fair markets for ranchers, not about raising trade barriers. We'll keep a close eye on the USMCA as that goes forward in its progress and keep you up to date right here. For now, that's going to do us on today's Northern Ag TV. I'm Andy Schwab. Have a great rest of your day.